croissant baking alone and enjoying your own company in the quiet hum of an empty kitchen, where the only audience is the morning light filtering through the window, there lies a unique form of therapy. It is the art of baking, for one, a practice not born of loneliness, but of a deliberate choice to find solace and joy in one's own company. This is a celebration of solitude, a ritual of self-care where the process is as nourishing as the final product. Imagine the simple, profound pleasure of kneading dough, the rhythmic push and pull, a meditation in itself. Your hands connecting with the elemental ingredients of flour, water, yeast, and salt. There are no expectations to meet, no palates to please other than your own. The air, thick with the scent of anticipation, becomes a private sanctuary. Here, in this space, you are both the creator and the sole recipient of your creation. Every sift of flour, every crack of an egg, every gentle fold of the batter is an act of mindfulness, a quiet conversation with yourself. The world outside, with its noise and demands, fades away, leaving only the gentle clatter of a whisk against a bowl and the soft sigh of the oven preheating. This is not about producing a perfect, shareable masterpiece for social media. It is about the intimate, often imperfect, journey of making something beautiful just for you. The decision to bake alone is an act of reclaiming time and space for oneself. In a world that constantly pushes for connection and shared experiences, choosing solitude can feel like a radical act. Yet, it is in these moments of chosen aloneness that we can truly listen to our own thoughts and desires. The kitchen transforms into a studio, a laboratory, a sacred space where you can experiment without fear of judgment. Perhaps today you feel like attempting a complex recipe you've bookmarked for months, a multi-layered cake or a delicate pastry that requires patience and precision. The challenge is not for applause, but for the personal satisfaction of mastering a new skill, of pushing your own boundaries. Or maybe it's a day for comfort, for recreating a beloved family recipe from a worn, flour-dusted card. The aroma of cinnamon and sugar might transport you back to a childhood kitchen, not with a sense of longing for others, but with a warm, personal nostalgia that you can hold and savor all by yourself. You have the freedom to be messy, to spill a little flour on the floor, to lick the spoon without a second thought. You can put on your favorite music, an audiobook, or simply revel in the symphony of the kitchen itself, the bubble of simmering sugar, the whir of the mixer, the satisfying thud of a loaf being turned out onto a cooling rack. This is your domain, governed by your rules and your pace. The only schedule is the one set by the rising of the dough and the browning of the crust. As the ingredients come together, a parallel process unfolds within. The focused, repetitive motions of baking can be incredibly grounding. When you are measuring, mixing, and shaping, your mind is anchored in the present moment. Worries about the future and regrets about the past recede, replaced by the tangible reality of the task at hand. Is the dough sticky enough? Has the chocolate melted to the right consistency? The sensory details become your entire world. The coolness of the marble countertop, the texture of the batter as it thickens, the vibrant color of fresh berry sole, these elements demand your full attention, pulling you into a state of flow. This deep engagement is a powerful antidote to the scattered, distracted nature of modern life. It is a form of active meditation where the mantra is the recipe and the prayer is the care you pour into your work. You begin to notice the subtleties you might otherwise miss, the way yeast blossoms in warm water, the glossy sheen of a perfectly tempered chocolate, the delicate web of gluten forming in a well-kneaded bread. These small miracles, often overlooked in the rush of daily life, are brought into sharp focus. Baking alone allows you to cultivate a deeper appreciation for the raw materials and the transformative power of heat and time. It is a lesson in patience, in trusting the process, and in understanding that some of the best things in life cannot be rushed. The midpoint of the baking ritual is a moment of quiet anticipation. The creation is in the oven, and the kitchen is filled with a slowly building warmth and an intoxicating aroma. This is a time for a pause, a moment to sit with a cup of tea and simply be. The hard work is done, and now, you wait. This period of waiting is not empty. It is charged with the promise of what's to come. It's a time for reflection, for enjoying the clean counters and the neat stacks of washed bowls. You can watch through the small glass window of the oven as your creation transforms, rising and turning a beautiful, golden brown. It's like watching a secret magic show, a private performance just for you. This interlude reinforces the idea that joy is not just in the final product, but in every stage of the journey. There is a profound sense of accomplishment in seeing raw, disparate ingredients metamorphose into something cohesive and delicious. It's a tangible representation of your effort and care. In this quiet moment, you can feel a sense of self-reliance and capability. You didn't need anyone else to create this moment of warmth and comfort. You built it with your own two hands. This realization is empowering, a quiet confirmation of your own strength and creativity. The house feels fuller, not with people, but with the scent of your labor, a fragrant testament to the time you've dedicated entirely to yourself. Finally, the timer chimes, signaling the grand finale. The moment of truth arrives as you open the oven door, and a wave of warm, fragrant air envelops you. You carefully retrieve your creation, a rustic loaf of bread with a crackling crust, a batch of cookies with perfectly melted chocolate chips, a single, elegant tart adorned with fresh fruit. The visual and olfactory reward is immediate and deeply gratifying. But the true culmination of this solitary ritual is the first bite. It is a moment of pure, unadulterated pleasure. You taste the layers of flavor, the textures you so carefully crafted. This is a taste of independence, of self-sufficiency, of the joy you've created for yourself. There is no need to share, no need to portion out, no need to listen for praise or critique. You can have the warm corner piece of the brownie, the perfectly risen center of the cake, the first and best slice of the pie. The experience is undiluted, a direct line from creation to consumption. Enjoying the fruits of your labor alone allows for a more intense and focused sensory experience. You can close your eyes and truly savor the buttery crumble of a scone or the rich, dark notes of a chocolate lava cake. This act of savoring is the final, crucial step in the practice of baking. For one, it is the moment you fully receive the gift you've given yourself, a moment of deep, personal contentment that resonates long after the last crumb is gone. In the quiet aftermath, with a satisfied sigh, you are left not with a feeling of emptiness, but of fulfillment. The kitchen, now silent again, holds the lingering scent of your solitary celebration, a gentle reminder that being alone is not the same as being lonely. It can be a beautiful, delicious, and profoundly restorative experience. Baking alone and enjoying your own company